Texas has been credited with having a stronger economy than most any state in the union. A lot of that's contributed or given, the credit's been given to lower taxes, better weather. One of the things that's not mentioned very much is that we're generally a right-to-work state. We're generally not union-free, but the unions aren't half as strong here as they are in the Rust Belt, California. But that's there's a movement afoot to change that in Austin and in Washington. We hear about it more, but it's a strong push in Austin. So starting, please, with Mark Griffin. Please discuss with us the union issue in Austin and how you think it's going to unfold and what you'd be doing about it.
Well, Texas is an at-will state, and the conservative values that we hold in Texas compared to our neighbors around the country, I think make it probably the last castle against this attack, if you will, the last wall. And we've got to stand very firm on that. I see no reason, I see no justification for a right to work in the state of Texas. The at-will has worked perfectly. Now, what we do need to do is this. We need to make sure that there's transparency, especially as it relates to groups that are governmental agency groups, whatever, that have experienced termination. There need to be transparency there, but by the same token, we need to protect the employers that they have reasonable and justified means and opportunities to change their workforce if the performance is substandard. At-will work in Texas is a tradition. It's almost a sacred right. No need to change it. I'd fight very, very hard if anyone tried to amend that or to change it to right.
As a small business owner, the at-will is very important. It means that basically somebody can work for me and quit when they want. And likewise, if they're not doing their job, then we can end that relationship. It's very important to keep it that way. We don't need more laws passed. Being a small business owner, I don't want Austin to come and tell me, give me more regulations on how to run my business. I don't think any of you want that in your businesses. And that's what we would be getting. Look around the country. Look where unions have a strong foothold. Their economy is not good. Texas is great. Part of it's because of you Republican women who have elected Republican people. Accountants can be funny. Getting Republican people in office, and I'm going to thank you for your work there.
If anybody comes into my office in Austin and says to me, we want to bring unions to Texas, I will point with my finger to that structure and I will say, you see that over there? That's a door. Texas has done very well through this recession because of the values, because of the foundations, because of the principles that we have established here, and they have served us, and we have been able to come through a recession, and we are the state around the country that has created the most new jobs during the recession. 1,000 Americans are moving to Texas every day from around the country. They're coming here for jobs because it's a great place for their children to live. We don't need unions in Texas. So if anybody comes to me as your representative for House District 84, and with your vote, I will be your representative, I'm going to point at the door and I say, get out. I'm not even going to discuss it with you. It's dead on arrival.
Texas is an at-will state, and it works well for employers, and it works well for employees. It's a two-way street. Just one example, we just tried to pass a $1 trillion health care bill at the federal. Let me rephrase it. We were just thrown a health care bill on top of us, and it did not go through, but it's still on the table. But guess who was exempted in that? Unions. That's the abuse of the system. So we can't go there. I would never support anything that would put us in a position of doing that. We're a free market society, which basically means that the consumer is going to dictate what we can pay or what we can charge for a product. That in turn dictates to what we can afford to pay our employers. It needs to stay that way. It doesn't need to be under a collective bargaining agreement or something such as that dictates how much we're going to have to pay an employee when our market won't support that. I'm about free enterprise, I'm about small business, and I'm about employee and employer rights to work. Thanks.
I agree with the moderator that this pressure movement has been underway for years and years. It will continue. I've always resisted it. My record shows that, and I will continue to resist it. Thank you.
I can't believe we've made it this far without anybody pointing out that I'm a lawyer. But we have.
Tonight.
Yeah,
That's tonight.
I said this far today. Don't take my time, Charles. Accountants are just short of funny. Okay, look, right to work is not pro-union. Right to work means they can't make you join the union to work in the shop. The opposite of right to work is union shop. I'm the only guy here who's had to manage a union shop at a feed mill in Fort Worth, Texas. And let me tell you something, when Graydon, who works on the pellet mill, decides he's had too much to drink last night and doesn't come in today, it's no fun to have to go to a piece of paper by the mixer to figure out who you can put on the pellet mill because it's union seniority. It doesn't make any dadgum sense. I've dealt with it firsthand. I know what the words on paper mean, and I will fight to keep Texas a right-to-work state. I'll also fight to make sure that employers can do what you heard referenced from some other folks. At will means I can terminate you at will. You can quit at will. We hate covenants not to compete in Texas. We have a free market. I'll work to keep it.